Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. How is everyone today? Hope you're well. Sorry, it's a bit of a late one. All sorts going on at home. So yeah, I did try to come on earlier, around about sort of 8:30, 8:45, but as it is in these trying times, things just take over at home. So it's one of those things. Sometimes remember we're trying to bring you stuff every day, but sometimes our home lives do take priority. This is not a channel that is solely for our business. We do this for free. So sometimes our home life and circumstances and everything else have to take priority on occasions, even though they don't. And I'm sure Martin, Kiam, and others will be testimony to that. That sometimes we do put the channel first on occasions, much to the dismay of our partners. But sometimes you have to look after your family first. So I do apologise. It is a late one today, but anyway, let's see who is on. Catherine Killian, hi Andy, how are you? Fernan, feel for Pep. He can't go to a funeral because of the lockdown. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely. And he's not the only person. We have to remember that he isn't the only person, and it is terrible, terrible news today concerning our manager Pep Guardiola, and what's happened with his mum, which is it's horrible in these times. And then we've heard tonight, obviously Boris is in intensive care as well. So yeah, it's just a bad time. It's a terrible, terrible time, and. We're not even there. I think I said something somebody said to me last week, and I think I said it on the vlog 10 days ago, saying this thing has not even stretched its legs yet. So we're not out of it. We're still a way off of this starting to reduce. We've got weeks yet before we can actually be certain that this thing is starting to reduce. But then you see images of idiots, absolute total idiots, going out in groups and meeting people and friends at parks and canals and things. I mean, it's just, and it's the old adage, we have to walk with the slowest walker, sadly, in this country and around the world. It's the idiots that do things like that are going to spoil it for everybody else, because if the government need to put further restrictions in place, like curfews, which if you know Alex, who comes on the channel, in Serbia, they have curfews where they can't go out the house at all. Then it's the idiots, it's the minority that spoil it for everybody else who are being sensible. So, yeah, tough times, but we just have to crack on and do the best that we possibly can through these tough times. So, who else is on? Mark the Blue, hi Andy Blues, respect to all. Hello Blues, hope everyone is keeping well. Kiam is on, Carl's on. Hi Andy, this is so sad, terrible, it is. Andy, really sad times, it is. Hey Andy, sad day for our football family. Chris, yeah, absolutely. It is. Very, very sad indeed. And it was interesting because somebody, and I know it's off topic, and I'm not trying to compare the two, but I mean, I think it was Alex who said on the Friday Night Social, is it going to take somebody, a Premier League footballer, to die before we start thinking about, the impact this is having in reality? Because I think at the moment there are still individuals or groups of people out there. I still think this is all a bit of a joke, and it's we've got a few weeks off work and I can do. They're not really understanding what is happening at the moment. People are dying across the world, literally hundreds, thousands every single day. And I don't want to compare this and have the whole, 2018 flu did this, and I'm not interested. That was 2018. We have the best medical care in the world now, far, far superior to what we had in 2018 with the influenza outbreak then. And yet still thousands upon thousands are dying every single day. So it's about time people started to wake up to it. And it is, and the people on the front line at the moment are doing everything they can, putting their lives at risk. Some people are absolute idiots. At least Liverpool and Rashford, etc., put their rivalry to one side. Send condolences to Johan Cruyff. Carl, I hope his dad is okay. Good evening, Lankow. Football has to be scrapped now. The government needs to step in and deal with any TV rights. That's a good point, Kian. The longer the idiots continue to go against the guidelines, the longer this nightmare will go on. Spot on. Absolutely spot on, Chris. And it is, there's just there's some people in this country just unbelievable. It shows you how thick some people are. Liverpool fans on Twitter have no respect, shame on them. Yeah, and there were others. I must admit, I was in a bit of a Twitter debate with some Liverpool fans before, about a few hours ago. I didn't see other fans doing it. I only saw Liverpool fans because they were the ones on my timeline. And people that were posting Liverpool fans that had made. I mean, they are in the minority. Let's not tar them with the same brush, because there are lots of Liverpool fans out there that wouldn't do that, wouldn't dare do that. But you do have, it just goes to show you, some people just are unbelievable. Fern City, we're not going to go into what they said on here. It's not something I want to repeat, and not something I want to give them any airtime on. Once this football season is scrapped, then football family can concentrate on helping people in the NHS, etc. Absolutely. Well, moving on. Yes, it's sad news. Very, very sad news today. Obviously, Pep Guardiola's mum has lost her life in her battle against Corona. Yeah, it must be very, very difficult time for Pep's mum, for his father, his family, about his mum. So it's just shocking. But what I wanted to do was just quickly, just a massive big respect to Pep, his family, and everything from Man City Fan TV. So there you go. Yeah, and just wishing all of our thoughts with his family, Pep, his family, his father, his kids, his extended family, and everybody in Barcelona. Just wishing them all the very best. It must be absolutely horrendous today, for everybody, not just for Pep, but for everybody. Absolutely shocking. Yeah, and Chris, I think just cancel the season of 23 team next season. What are the City fan animals? What other Man City channels do you watch? Don't watch any. Rest in peace, Dolors. Yeah, absolutely. Khaldoon obviously has made a statement. Sorry, not that one. Definitely not that one. He made a statement today with regards to it, and said the Manchester City family are devastated to report the death today of Pep's mother, Dolors Sala Carrillo, in Manresa, Barcelona, after contracting coronavirus. She was 82 years of age. On hearing the tragic news, Khaldoon Al Mubarak spoke on behalf of the club, saying, "Our prayers and heartfelt sympathies are with Pep and his family at this overwhelmingly sad time. He and they have the love and the support of the entire Manchester City family." And I think you've seen that today, certainly on Twitter, not just from City fans, but even, I know there's been a minority of idiots, mainly, sadly, Liverpool fans, but they are not representative of Liverpool Football Club. I can assure you of that, because I've seen other tweets today by genuine Liverpool fans who have paid their respects as well. So it just brings it home, doesn't it, when your manager's mother has died as well. And we're sending our love and thoughts and prayers and everything to him and his family and everybody else. Let's face it, everybody else in the world not just in the UK, but everywhere, that are facing these difficult times. And you read some of the stories of families not being able to bury their children, be there with them, and things like that. I mean, it's horrendous. I mean, it's like a movie. It's like a book, a doomsday book that's been written. To not be able to bury your child or be with them at the funeral and things, it's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous times. But anyway, what have we got here? Liverpool are not champions yet, so they would miss out just like we miss out on the Cup, and potential Champions League lives come first. Should Liverpool be given the title or make the season void? Well, I mean, I've given my thoughts. Furhan, City, okay, you can look over the video that I did last week on it. I said, I gave you my thoughts on what I thought should happen to the season. Kiam, so would the League Cup and Community Shield take? I'm not bothered. I honestly, Fern, I don't care about whether City win the League Cup or the Community Shield. Not interested in the slightest whatsoever. Football for me is on the back burner right now. It should be about, the priority should be all about making sure everyone's safe before anything else. And that means the fans, the staff, the people who have to, man any stadiums and things like that. And until the fans, and this is somebody, I think my lad said to me last night something, and he was right. One of my lads said to me about going back to pubs. It's like, well, until we can go back to a pub or a restaurant or something like that and have a meal together and do things like normal life, why should football be any different? Why should it be any different? The only reason, he's right, and he said to me, like I said last week, is it can only be about money. Until it's absolutely safe for everybody to be able to go to a stadium and watch football, why should it not be safe for everybody else who's involved with playing behind closed doors? It's disgraceful. But yeah, there are others who, there was rumours that this guy, wanted Liverpool to win the trophy at all costs because of their profile and everything else, and it just makes his brand much stronger. But according to UEFA President Ceferin, he denies Liverpool will be given the title, because the original reports were that Ceferin wanted the Premier League to announce Liverpool. I mean, who is this guy to tell the Premier League what they should and shouldn't do? But anyway, it turns out that he, according to them, he's denied claims that Liverpool will be crowned champions if the league is cancelled due to coronavirus. Klopp's side are 2 wins away from securing their first trophy in the Premier League. And it says it's not known whether the season will be able to go ahead by then or if the games can be played. Reports had suggested the league would be gifted to Liverpool after just 29 games, but Ceferin slammed the rumours as fake news as he outlined UEFA's plans to finish the season. Speaking on Tuesday, he said, I saw and heard some, again, fake news that UEFA will advise leagues to finish the championships now and decide that the winners are the ones who are number one now. I can only say it's not true. Our goal is to finish the leagues, and we didn't recommend anything like this to any association. Yeah, we'll wait and see. But clearly, the likes of Ceferin and his cohorts definitely do want a club like Liverpool being announced as the Premier League winners. Whether that will happen, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But anyway, let's get back, see what else is, what you're saying tonight. Big jump there, sorry. The longer the idiots continue to go outside, yeah, we've done that one. I apologise. Let me just go back down. Peter Curry says, thoughts and prayers are with Pep and his family at this sad time. We then have, exactly, Andy, football doesn't matter now, so scrap it and everyone can focus on saving people. Sorry I'm late, Martin's on. you on why football should be back on. Not the best time, I'm afraid. Herd immunity won't help this virus. Staying at home will help prevent it. Well, the German league is starting to train again. Yeah, they are, but it doesn't mean to say we should. If you stay at home, is there no chance you will get the virus? Well, if you stay at home, as long as nobody else come in contact with you, you will. If you've not currently got the virus, then obviously, clearly, there is no chance of you getting the virus. Declan Kenny, following all these deaths, Andy, does it really matter who wins the leagues? Some things are more in. Absolutely, yeah. And this is the whole thing. I mean, I'm not bothered. I said it last week on my video. I'm not asked about it one way or the other. People want to decide, which I think is wrong, but if people want to decide, oh, it should be this and it needs to be played out and give Liverpool time, give them. I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered. My concern is that it's done for purely financial purposes, and if that's what it does, then all it will ever do for till the day I die will show me what football is all about. If I didn't know already, and that is money. They care more about money than they do about lives. It's that simple. And nobody will ever persuade me ever again that that is wrong, because it will be just about money. If you're going to force players to go into isolation for 4 weeks and all that garbage nonsense that they spoke about, not for me. As I said yesterday, will players chance their careers on getting playing such long layoff? Yeah, that's FSG and the machinery. Old Sephiron, Persephone, yeah, Dashing Digne, Carl's on. Hello, mate. So sad news about Pep's mother. Such a shame. Everyone just don't go outside. Let's just call it a day. Yeah, oh, well, I mean, that's my thoughts on it. But I'm not going to go into that because I've been there, I've done it, and I did it last week, and I said I'm not really going to talk all about that again, and I'm not going to go into it. I said my piece. If you haven't seen the video I did last week on my suggestion, and maybe you disagree with it, but I'm not going into the whole argument again. I just think it's disgraceful. Anyway, a little bit of news. This is a story that I remember doing ages ago, but I mean, it's obviously come round again now. If I can just bring it up, there was some news today about City, apparently, according to the Manchester Evening News, are in pole position to sign Lyon star Houssem Aouar. Now, it's a player I did a video on last 8 months ago, must be now. Looks exciting. Must admit, it does look an exciting player, but I'm not so sure. I think it's just a more guff from Calcio Mercato, saying that City are currently in pole position for the player. However, it's claimed Juventus have set their sights on the 20-year-old, and that bidding will start at 45 million euros, but his price tag is set to rise further. I'm not too sure about that. With the whole transfer money, I'd be interested to see when football comes back whether prices as they currently stand will be the same in 3 or 4 months' time. But according to City have suffered at the back this season. And it goes on to say, Skriniar is the latest centre-back linked, and City have reportedly offered 60 million, but that's guff, that's nonsense. I'm not even going to talk about that because it's absolute garbage. And all that the Manchester Evening News article is doing is linking other articles from other programmes. This is how desperate some of the media are at the moment. It goes on about City will attempt to sign Saul Niguez from Madrid as a replacement for David Silva. I mean, it's just, I'm reporting it, I'm bringing it to you guys, but I honestly think it's absolute garbage. I think it's total guff, if I'm being honest with you. Aouar, I've seen Aouar live. It was okay. I've seen him play a few times. I thought he was okay, but for me, he's just a Mahrez. It's like for Mahrez. And do we need another Mahrez? Not for me. Leroy Sané, for me, I think we should do everything we can, certainly in his last year. But that's another one that's all gone a little bit quiet. Nobody knows what's going on with it. But anyway, yes, we had him, didn't we? I mean, what an absolute bellend. Does make you wonder. It really, really, really does. make you wonder about these individuals and just think what goes through their minds to do the things that they do. Well, obviously, we know the rumours surrounding what happened with Kyle Walker, and apparently there's been if I can bring it back up there, and this is, if I move the logo out the way there, the club stated Manchester City FC are aware of a story in a tabloid newspaper regarding the private life of Kyle Walker in relation to a breach of the UK lockdown and social distancing rules. Footballers are global role models, and our staff and players have been working to support the incredible efforts of the NHS and other key workers in fighting the effects of COVID-19 in any way we can. Kyle's actions in this matter have directly contravened these efforts. We are disappointed to hear the allegations. Note Kyle's swift statement and apology, and will be conducting an internal disciplinary procedure in the coming days. So that was the statement made by Manchester City on Kyle Walker, and you just, do you need it? Do you need it? It puts everything that's happened today into perspective with Pep's mother, and then you've got idiots like him doing this type of stuff. I mean, it's pathetic, absolutely pathetic. So I hope City throw the absolute book as much as they possibly can at him, because he's been an absolute bell sniff. He really has. I know he's gone on to social media. I'm not going to go into the story. I don't really want to talk about that type of stuff on here. But he said, I want to take this opportunity to issue a public apology for the choices I made last week, which have resulted in a story today, that was yesterday, about my private life in a tabloid newspaper. I understand that my position as a professional footballer brings the responsibility being as a role model. As such, I want to apologise to my family, friends, football club supporters and the public for letting them down. My actions in this matter are in direct contrast to what I should have been doing regarding the lockdown, and I want to reiterate the message: stay home, stay safe. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Sorry, Kyle. I don't have any sympathy whatsoever for you, mate. You're an absolute bell end for doing it. But you've apologised, and I guess it's just like all the City fans having to go at Jack Grealish. He's done it after the event and apologised because he's been found out. I'm sure be interesting if he admitted to that, if the story wasn't run in a tabloid or was about to run in a tabloid. So, I mean, just, you're at the Premier League champions, mate. DC, I read an article today, and I can't remember, it was actually a decent read normally by one. I'm not that keen on Ian Ladyman, but he actually put in there saying, the likes of Grealish, the likes of Walker and that, take a look at what Sergio Aguero's doing. Somebody who could quite easily have made an excuse to fly all the way back to Argentina and be with his family and things like that and do whatever and blah, 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 blah. And yet just sits in isolation at home. He's not got a regular wife or girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. He only sees his child for I think it's a few days every month. And yet he openly admits to just staying at home, staying in his apartment in Manchester and just watching films. Look at David Silva. Would you ever read this type of stuff about David Silva? And this is, for me, is what separates greats from regular footballers. And I just find it absolutely despicable. I really do. I'm sorry if people can give Jack Grealish a load of grief. City fans should give Kyle Walker the same amount of grief, in my opinion. I think it's disgraceful. Just tarnishing the shirt. And it's such a shame because he was having such a good season as well. All undone. For that. I mean, it's crazy. Madness. But anyway, let's see who's on for a go. I guess Carl didn't wash his hands during his stupidity. Carl Skerker on the pitch, and apparently off the pitch had to sack him with immediate effect. Yeah, it's just unacceptable behaviour, in my opinion. Declan Kenny, Carl Walker must feel even worse now. Pep's mother's passed. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry I'm late. Sergio Aguero, I'm not a pro though. Independent upbringing, humble legend. Yeah, I mean, you know, it wasn't. I was just pointing that article out today and just reading it. Just goes to show you, doesn't it? It just goes to show you you've got the lights. It's funny, isn't it? How English player Jack Grealish, English player Kyle Walker. You've got, and I'm not saying that all English players are like that. Don't get me wrong, and I'm certainly not saying that all overseas players are saints, but it just goes to show you. You wonder sometimes what goes through these players' mind. He is not a kid. He's 29, isn't he? I mean, Jesus, he's not 19, 20, a bit stupid, a bit Jack Grealish, a bit thick, and sort of like, what you doing, you dickhead? He's 29. You know, he's not got children. I know he's separated from his girlfriend or whatever, and you just think, what goes through your mind? What really goes through your mind? Kyle Walker will never be a legend in this football club. I'd happily see him sold in the summer. David Silva has grounding at Bass team as youth and humble legend. I think selling him or sacking is a tad strong, just my opinion. Yes, he's beyond stupid. The classic watch along was amazing yesterday, Martin. Yes, it was really, really good. Really enjoyed that. Well done, Martin, for that yesterday. Right, on to the last couple of bits of news. Wan-Bissaka, the United defender Wan-Bissaka, has named his toughest opponent. Now, as we know, Wan-Bissaka's basically classed as one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. But he was asked about his toughest opponent as a United player, and he said basically that some opposition players have given him more trouble than most, though. And the Man City forward Raheem Sterling sprang to mind when considering his hardest games this season. He said, I'd say Raheem Sterling has to be the one, because those are the battles I've enjoyed the most. He keeps going, just keeps on coming at you, he told ManUnited.com. Doesn't matter if he doesn't get past you in one challenge, he keeps coming back for more every time. That's what I like. I've been happy with my performances in both league and derbies. The second one was just before lockdown. That was an incredible afternoon. And so there you go. Bissaka's gone up against Sterling 4 times this season, twice in the league and in both legs of the League Cup semi-final. City having only managed to score 4 goals in those meetings. 3 of those came in one half, while Sterling failed to find the net in every encounter. There you go. So there's one for Martin. Martin will be pleased with that one. But anyway, that's Wan-Bissaka saying that Sterling is the toughest player that he has played against this season. So just seeing, there was also a little bit of news. There was obviously a little bit more news today about Harry Kane. That will please some and disappoint others. But according to the Daily Express, City are set for a £150 million tug of war with Real Madrid for the services of the English striker Harry Kane. And then it goes on to say, posting some information that City fans, some were very mixed between whether they wanted him at Manchester City or not. So we'll wait and see on that one. Another one is in Sport Witness, and it's talking about Fabian Ruiz, and it says that the Napoli midfielder is reportedly close to both City and Madrid, and it's even stated talks are already taking place with the players' camp and the Italian club, given there's an estimated transfer fee of around €100 million, and Barca have other priorities. They're not ready to put up much of a fight. That would leave the route clear for Manchester City, although it's worth mentioning there's an awful lot of hype around the Napoli player, and a transfer fee in the region of €100 million seems exaggerated, to say the least. Meanwhile, Napoli are keen on Barcelona's Junior Firpo. Therefore, you can see potentially a little bit of a swap deal going on there in the present climate. And finally, Ianis Hagi, son of legendary midfielder Georgie Hagi, is currently plying his trade in the Scottish Premiership with Rangers. Hagi signed for Belgium outfit Genk in the summer of 2019. The 21-year-old's made 19 appearances for Genk, in which he scored 3 and assisted 4 before being loaned out to Rangers. Now, according to rumours are on this that come to the Evening Standard. This is the Evening Standard. Let me just bring that up there. Hagi'S agent claims that both Tottenham boss Jose Mourinho and Manchester City's director of football, Cheeky Begiristain, have asked about the versatile midfielder. However, Hagi'S agent Giovanni Beccali believes Rangers will sign him. He said, I've been asked personally by Jose Mourinho and, these are quotes, and Cheeky Begiristain about Ioannis Hagi. They wanted to know about him and how he was getting on. There's lots of top people in European football who know all about Ioannis and what he can do. I happen to think Ioannis is on a good plan at Rangers. I think Rangers will sign him because he is a player who has that little extra piece of creativity and skill. He has many other qualities and is actually more graceful than his father ever was. He runs like a gazelle compared to him. I think he is improving all the time at Rangers. He will continue to get better if he signs for them. Now, you read that, it does seem like an agent bigging up some young Turk and basically trying to get a little bit of interest from other clubs. I'll be very surprised if City go anywhere near that, if I'm being honest. But anyway, who knows? But let's see what your final comments are. Let me just go back. He was bang out, totally bang out though. I wouldn't sell him, but what he did was over the top. Walker is a filthy sod. Stu MC seems to be a trend. Look at Grealish and Maddison. Half a season, it goes to their heads. Both been hibernating performance since Christmas. Good point. Cal says Kyle Walker has made a mistake. I won't say he should be sold. It's a mistake in the dark time, but it's a mistake. He has said sorry. All he can do is learn from this, and we all make mistakes. Yeah, we do. But, yeah, stupid. Very, very stupid. If Wan-Bissaka wasn't playing in the back 8 every time we play them, Sterling would roast him. Sterling looked like one of his easiest opponents this season. United parked the bus even with Ole. I thought Wan-Bissaka had Sterling in his pocket, to be honest. Wan-Bissaka absolutely had Sterling in his back pocket in most games this season. Walker has had all the briefings from the club, the best possible medical advice, yet ignored it, risking lives. For me, an apology isn't enough. It isn't. It's all he can do, I guess, Kian. Yeah, it's sort of you do, because it's a City player. You look at it from a certain angle, and you think, dickhead, why have you done that? And then you look at the Grealish stuff last week. Did what he did. Nothing like, well, albeit, let's face it, no, to be fair, he did smash into a few cars, didn't he? But he comes out with his apology afterwards, and everyone's going, bollocks, what an absolute knobhead. Well, Walker's done the same thing. So is it right for us all to go, oh, okay, then, because he's City, let's forgive him? I'm not too sure. I'll leave that up to you. Yeah, what else did you expect from him? We might not like them, but well done to Liverpool fans for shaming their owners and getting their furloughing decision reversed. Yes, they have come. I did post that on Twitter before and said it's, there's been some disgusting comments. I mean, no more so, not disgusting, but funny, ironic comments. And I posted one earlier, if you've not seen John Barnes going on about it. I mean, absolute footballers, stay out of political stuff. If we get Kane and keep Gunn and Gabby, what shirt number would Kane get at City? God, I have no idea. I'd say the same if KDB, Aguero. It's time these selfish people realise lives are at risk. Good point. Fernand says, Kian, they said that Walker was at Rooney's house. No, he wasn't at Rooney's house. He wasn't at Rooney's house. So no, I've not read anything to say that he was at Rooney's house. They went out for a walk on the golf course where they live next door to each other. They're pretty much neighbours. And Kyle Walker went out for a walk, and so did Wayne Rooney and his family. And they met on the golf course, and they were spoken about. They kept their distance, and they were approached by police or whoever just to say, make sure you maintain your distance. So they weren't at each other's house at all. That's absolute garbage. They were on a golf course. that was next door to where they live, and they're neighbours. So both were independently walking on the golf course, saw each other, their families, and they, at a distance, spoke to each other, but they were reminded by police to make sure that they keep their distance. So that's garbage. That's nonsense. What's your opinion on Todd Cantwell? Sorry, jump there. Not saying he would have him City, just not for me. Cantwell's a good player, do well at your place, yeah, not for us. All footballers should be setting an example for everyone. Dashing Digne, I wouldn't have him. I don't rate him as a player. He'd be good for Sheffield. Kiam, I want him. Please support the channel by giving this thumbs up. Thank you, Chris Baker. Man City, okay, he's too good for Norwich Sheffield. I think he's an Everton player. Right, guys, listen, that's it for tonight. A little bit of news. Sorry it's late, but it is what it is. And like I said, sometimes family comes first in these trying times, and we've got things in our own lives that we need to look after. But anyway, just a quick roundup of today. Listen, guys, please, whatever you do, please stay safe. Follow the government guidelines. Whatever you do, make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you do this. Make sure you stay 2 meters apart. Make sure you do whatever they're saying. Don't go out unless you absolutely need to. If you need to go out, go and get some shopping. Fine. One person per car. Not in families. Not in things like that. One person. Go to shopping. And if you need more, send somebody else later. Go in 2 cars. If you've got 1 car, go separately. It's just simple. It is absolutely simple. And yet simpletons are not following the government's advice. They're doing it for a reason. It's to save your lives, my lives, everybody's lives, or at least try to. But when we hear the news today, you know, of Pep and everything else, and Pep's mum and things like that, and, you know, young children dying and everybody else dying and death rates going up, it just makes you wonder why people are just not getting it whatsoever. Is it because they don't give a shit? Maybe they don't. Maybe they just don't care. They only think about themselves. They only care about themselves. And if that's the case, then fine, fair enough. But we won't forget it. We won't forget it. So make sure you follow the government's advice, whatever you do. But anyway, stay safe. Give your loved ones a big cuddle tonight. Give them a love. Give them a kiss. Tell them you love them. Because these are difficult times. But anyway, take care. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe, hit that bell icon. Make sure your notifications are set to public, not private. That way you'll be notified when there's all new videos coming on the channel. But anyway, again, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody on the front line. Not just our NHS staff who are doing a wonderful job, but all those people on the front line, the workers, the police, the fire brigade, the prison officers, the people working in Sainsbury's, people working in Morrison's, Aldi, wherever it might be, people delivering, you know, pharmaceutical products for the elderly and people who need it. All of those people, the people who come and empty your bins, the people who clean the roads, all of those people that are putting themselves on the front line every single day just to keep things moving. And then you get dickheads like Kyle Walker doing what he did. Becker's belief. But anyway, stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.